Hey Virgo, welcome back to Natural Mystic Messages. Welcome to your weekly reading. This is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and of course Venus, because we love to love here at Natural Mystic. Now, some quick housekeeping. January is what I'm referring to as my thirsty month. So I'm going to ashamedly, I'm going to ask you very blatantly to please like the video and subscribe. This is my year of growth and I'd love you to grow with me. Now, let's get started. The energy is fluid. This could be for you, or this could be for someone around you, or this could be a story I'm telling you that you are observing through the eyes of somebody else. Place the story where it goes, make the characters fit where they do, and if it does not apply, let it fly. Don't try and make it squeeze into your life. Okay, we have this could be the one. And that says you've already met the romantic partner you seek. Then we have forgiving and learning. As you release and heal from the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Okay, and then we have free yourself. It's time to take control of your life. Okay, what am I getting here? I feel very much what is going on here, Virgo, is you are trapped. You're trapped from the pain of your past. I think that's what Spirit's asking you to do, is to change your perception on past traumas and past hurts and relationships you've been through, and to see them as lessons and what lessons you could have possibly gained from these situations. Now, I know some of you may be sitting there and thinking, well, I went through something that was really traumatic and really abusive, and what could I have possibly learned from that? And it doesn't have to be, it can be that you learnt boundaries, you learnt to never put up with that again. I think it's more so finding the silver lining so that these experiences weren't in vain for you. It's allowing your brain to file them away so you're not, so that suffering didn't feel like it was just for the sake of it. Because when you can do that, when you can find a silver lining, even if it was so you could get a list of things that you will never put up with again, and to teach you red flags so you will never be in a situation where they will escape past you again, that's enough. That is enough to have made that experience not worth it, but worthy of being in your life, because everything happens to us for a reason, even when it's unfair and even when we can't figure out what that reasoning would be. There is a reason for it, and sometimes we have to wait for that person to come in or the experience in our life to happen to say, it makes so much sense why I went through that really crappy time. But when you're going through it and when you're healing through it, it's impossible to think there could have possibly been a reason. It's impossible to think that something so amazing is going to manifest off the back of that situation. But I think that's what Spirit's saying to you, is if you can release it, if you can find a silver lining and file that away, that you will start an energy in motion to bring in the things that are manifesting off the back of whatever it is you've been through that's holding you back. Okay, we're gonna jump in. We're gonna let the tarot tell the story, and we're going to start with the Light Seers Tarot, which is a beautiful deck. And I will have all the decks below that I use in the readings if you'd like to purchase any of them. Spirit's telling me a few of you are learning tarot, and a few of you actually read. So lovely. So even grab your cards, read along with me. So we have the Nine of Cups. Okay, hang on. You're all jumping out. Okay, we have the Nine of Cups up first. This is satisfaction. It's a wish fulfillment. It's getting everything you desire, but more so everything you deserve. Next to that, we have the Page of Wands. This is finding a new found enjoyment in your life. It doesn't have to be that you're starting something new or doing some great experience. It could even be that you're just finding joy in the small things. It's igniting that passion again that's inside you. You may have recently met someone, or you may have just woken up one day and found that enjoyment from yourself. In saying that though, next up we have the King of Cups. So some of you have found that enjoyment from someone else, which goes back to that card that says you've already met your romantic partner, but you're almost holding yourself back because of past hurts. Now, the King of Cups is also guilty of this. The King of Cups doesn't get off scot-free. He's renowned for just barely dipping a toe into the ocean of emotion. I think what the King of Cups represents is someone who equally and mutually feels the same way about you, but might not be expressing it as clearly or as openly as you'd like to. So they're a deep feeler, they're just not a deep expressor. Okay, so you may be dealing with a Pisces. There is definitely a lot of water energy out here on the table, but there is also fire, Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. Let's see what else we've got. Someone planning a holiday or wanting to plan a holiday, or has been saving or wanting to save. I feel like this was one of your goals coming into this year, that, you know, you're going to have experiences rather than possessions, you know, that you feel like life's slipping you by and you're not really getting to experience all the things you want to. Like, you woke up one day and then it was 2020. Some of you may have had to walk away or make big decisions off the back of this feeling like you haven't had a chance to experience life. You may have been, or you may be pushed into a corner where you're thinking, is this all there is? Is there anything more? If I'm going to grow, can I stay in this situation I'm in right now? Does this situation benefit me? I'm hearing a lot of things going around in your head, and the decision, while you've got a lot of thoughts, the decision is very clear cut, like stay or go. This could be work, this could be a relationship, but it's very clear cut. If I stay, X, Y, and Z will be my outcome. If I go, X, Y, and Z will be my outcome. And it's less of you being indecisive and more gaining the courage to move through this situation and to choose to live, is what I'm hearing, rather than just sort of coast by. This could be off the back of this King of Cups. Here we have the Lovers. So for some of you, and there's kind of two storylines, it's starting to like fork in the road a little bit. So for some of you, you may have met somebody who you think might be your next person, but you're unsure of how they feel or how they're going to fit into your life. You might be trying to leave a situation, or you're tied down emotionally from the situation, from being hurt, which is what we'd said, and you're unable to step into it. For others of you, you're actually in a relationship with someone who you don't think is going to help you grow forward. The Lover's energy is very heavy here in this relationship, in this reading. So what I'm hearing right now is all these twists and turns and sort of indecisiveness, they're coming off the back of a relationship or an ex-relationship or a relationship you want to head into. Relationship energy seems to be very heavy for you at the moment, and especially over the next month, Spirit's saying, I feel like this is where your next lot of lessons are sort of coming in, but they're not traumatic lessons. I feel like they're growth lessons to help you self-love and self-heal and move through situations to become you and to learn who you are and what your decisions are and where you want to be I feel like in past relationships, you lost who you were and you weren't even aware that you lost who you were. And now you're suddenly sitting there and you're wondering, who am I? What is it I want? It's like you've hit and I always struggle with this word for some reason, an existential. No matter how much I practice it, I can't say it, and I need to use it a lot for some odd reason, and I can't find a replacement word. An existential crisis, um, similar to a midlife crisis, but you haven't hit your midlife. It's like, but you've become so mature, emotionally and spiritually. It's like you've grown overnight. So we have the Magician. And this is you realizing you're at a stage where you can manifest great things in your life and you have that potential and you're seeing your self-worth, but you've also looked around you and at the people around you and at the things and places and work and everything and realize this doesn't match me anymore and it's not growing with me. I feel like I have to leave it behind. And I don't think it's for lack of trying. I think you've tried to make these things grow and evolve with you, but they're just not for your path anymore. Okay, so this story has definitely split off from the person who's just met someone, although you may still be going through these situations at the same time as a new meeting. Which would mean you have a lot going on, Virgo. Okay, we have the Hanged Man. That is definitely you evolving, you coming into a new you and wanting your external to reflect that. And I'm sorry, there we go, it's a bit better. I'm sorry, I'm so washed out. I do have terrible filming equipment, but over time, as I grow, I will upgrade. Okay, so yes, this is moving, this is evolving. This could be spiritually awakening, leveling up, and that awareness of what you've grown into has changed your perception of everything around you. You're starting to really notice the negativity that comes out of people's mouths around you. It's like in your head, if it's just you and you're in your head, you're in this magical world, this place of knowledge and wisdom and beauty, and then it's sort of reality. You sort of snap back and you can hear what's going on around you, and you hear the people talking, and it's like polar opposites to the way you feel inside from your soul. Nine of Pentacles. This is that abundance you're wanting to bring into your life. And I know there's more to life than money, and I know that there's more to life than physical things, but we're here on earth to live, and those physical things can make life more comfortable. And they're also sometimes a nice manifestation of showing where you're at and how hard you've worked. You know, it's a way of keeping track, but it also opens you up to things like traveling, which is what I was talking about, those life experiences. I feel like money sort of comes and goes for you, and it can sometimes be a feast or a famine, and you haven't really known what to do with it because while you need it to live, it hasn't been your be-all and end-all, and it hasn't been your drive in life. But you're wanting to be more responsible, not responsible, but you want someone who can grow with you, so you can build up a mountain, so you can have these experiences and help others and do all the things that you know that money will give you access to. Because at the end of the day, it's just a frequency, and here comes the sun, Virgo. Good things are coming. This King of Cups, and look, this King of Cups might be holding back a little bit because they feel you not ready to jump in. This could be a reactive situation. They might not be innately deceptive about how they're feeling about you. And when I say deceptive, it seems like it's got a negative ring to it, but it really doesn't. I mean deceptive as in they really do care, but they're just not expressing it for fear of being hurt themselves, or for fear of, I feel like you're very, and when I say he, you know, the energy is interchangeable. I don't have to explain this. Every tarot reader will tell you. I feel like you're very independent, Virgo, and you sort of don't allow this person to nurture you or take care of you. And for good reason, though. For good reason. I'm not picking at you at all. You've had to be this way. There has been no one in your past that has allowed you to be vulnerable. and for that to be a safe place. And I think maybe it's time that you explain this to this King of Cups, that you are fearful of being vulnerable, hence you may come across like hot and cold or unsure, but it's not. It's your fear of vulnerability, and it's because of X, Y, and Z. And clear communication is what will take this new meeting into a flourishing relationship that you can both grow from. And I feel a lot of healing off the back of this meeting. And if you haven't met them yet, then be sure that they're coming. And that happens when we change our vibration. Other things may fall away from us, and it's just the law of the universe. But just as much as things fall away, we attract new energy to match that vibration. So we're going to go one more card with the Light Seers Tarot, and then we'll move on to the Modern Spellcasters deck, and we'll clarify with that. Oh, I say one more card, Spirit hands me the whole deck. Or I'm a crappy shuffler. It is a little of that too. Okay, and the next card is the Empress. She is the ultimate divine feminine of the deck. This is a woman who is healed, who is in touch with herself. She's in touch with nature. She's nurturing. She's all the things that you are inside, Virgo, that you're too scared to give to another person because the last time it was taken for granted. Spirit's bringing this up because Spirit wants to remind you who you are. Spirit wants to remind you of the strength that you possess inside you, the strength that has got you to where you are now, through situations that people couldn't even imagine dealing with, that would be horrifying for some, but you managed to pick yourself up and move through. Okay, so we're going to clarify this Nine of Cups, which is a great card. It's satisfaction, it's wish fulfillment. Spirit's saying, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands is exhaustion. It's holding on and doing everything yourself and not delegating it out, and maybe not having the opportunity to delegate it out because there's nobody there to pick up the pieces. If you drop all these logs, there's no one there to help pick them up. And that's what you're hoping for. You're hoping for somebody to be able to share the load with. Somebody who you don't have to even ask to take half the load. That it's just, that's who they are. They're not going to sit back and watch you struggle. And if you've already met this person, keep an eye out for their love language being doing things, because that's what I'm really getting the energy of here. While they may not express it verbally, keep an eye out for what they physically do. They may, run in and help you get shopping out of the car. They may ring up and ask, do you need any help with that? If you sound a bit stressed, their first response might be, what can I do to help? This is their way of saying to you, I care deeply for you. So look out for that language and look it up. If you're not very versed in it, Google love languages and look into it. I don't know the technical term for it, but it's doing things, which doesn't make it sound any more technical, but you'll know there's like 5 or 6 of them, and doing things is pretty clear when it explains itself. Okay, Page of Wands. This is this new energetic spark for life. It also could be the people you've dealt with in your past that were quite emotionally immature, who didn't understand you at your level. So you may have had to hide a lot of who you are, or sort of lose yourself in places, or push it down because it was just never understood, and you were sort of looked at like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And it wasn't because what you were saying didn't make any sense. It's because the person couldn't meet you on your level. And that goes for friends as well. Now, it's funny because as I was saying this, I was getting a real energy of this person being a player, not wanting to settle down. This is past energy. And as I say that, I pull up the Knight of Wands, which is essentially my player energy. And it doesn't mean they have to be off sleeping with everything that moves, but it's the and I don't want to say man child, it's woman and man and child, woman, man, child. It's Peter Pan syndrome. It's not wanting to grow up. It's not wanting to settle down. And I'm not saying settling down's the only way and the right way, but they were for someone not wanting to settle down, and for someone, you know, wanting to be so free and carefree, they rely on a lot of people to carry them. And if you want to be that person, if you want to be Peter Pan, you've got to be able to carry yourself. Otherwise, you're pretty much having your cake and eating it too. You're getting this person was getting all the benefits of being young, free, and single, to say, not that they particularly were, but acting that way without having to actually commit and do all the things that come with that. So they have to pick a lane, basically. They can't just have one without putting in the effort for the other. Now, I've just looked at the counter. It's 2112, which is the mirrored number of each other. So 2s and 1s, 21. That could be a date. The 12th could be a date. If those numbers work for you, you'll know. It'll be pretty specific. Okay, we have been waffling. Well, I have been waffling. But what's new? Oh, and there goes the card. Let's see if I can gracefully do this. Me and Grace. Nine of Pentacles. That's twice the Nine of Pentacles have come up. This is the person who has everything or knows how to manifest everything except love, or is happy to live in their world without it if it can't show up the way it should. And that's where I feel like you're at. It's like, if you're not going to grow with me, if this isn't going to grow with me, then I'm happy. I'm so sorry. Sorry, I'm coming off the back of weeks and weeks of heavy smoke here in Australia due to the fires. So I'm sure, just like every other Victorian in Australia, we're very chesty. What was I saying before I rudely coughed on the camera? And I'm sorry, I won't edit it because I really am no good at it. Reading is my specialty. The technical side is definitely not. Yes, if you're not going to grow with me, then I'm confident I'll do it myself. Through hell or high water, I will grow myself. In saying that, though, once you get into that energy, that's what starts attracting somebody to you. And the right person, because you no longer are accepting anything less. Now, on that note, we're going to pull some Oracle, because I'm not going to keep you going any longer. We've hit 23 minutes. I've officially realised I cannot keep these readings short. I've tried. Every now and then I get away with it, and I think the Aries reading wasn't too bad. Okay, so we might also have a Gemini. What else am I getting? A Leo. Yeah. Okay, Spirit's saying we're going to take 3 of these. That would be 1. You're tired, Virgo. You've been carrying more than the average. You've been carrying people. You've been carrying the weight of your own problems. Like, your support has been very lacking, is what I'm hearing. Okay, so we have friendship. Can you tell I'm not wearing glasses? It's getting very close. A friend from the past will bring you much joy. I think that pretty much speaks for itself. Transcendence. Lift up from your firm foundation now. You are ready to be rebirthed into a gorgeous, prosperous honeybee. This is the Nine of Pentacles energy. And we have reflection. Reach out to all required today, for they are your mirrors. Then things can flow quickly. So if you're struggling in life, if things aren't going your way, have a good look around you at who's cheering you on, who's pushing you forward, who's doing all those things, and then have a look around at who's taking from you and who's causing you stress and who's pushing your life into places that disrupt your peace. And that's where your answers will lie. Now on that vote, no, vote for Renee. On that note, Virgo, I'm going to ask you again, with no shame, to hit that like button. Please subscribe, share with anyone who you think could benefit from this. Don't forget to check out your other signs, and I'll see you all again next week.